we set out that morning for a threefold mission, and the first two phases of that mission that morning went successfully without any significant events occurring. And then our final portion of that mission was to conduct a tribal leader engagement with the elders in a small village right on a border town between Pakistan and Afghanistan. We knew this was a very bad town. We had intelligence that was showing that since the U.S. had built this super highway that leads, from Pakistan into Afghanistan, and jihadists were being radicalized and further trained in Pakistan, and they'd come through this border checkpoint using this highway. And the first town there was a town named Badikat. And so we knew that that's basically where people were linking up with handlers and taking them throughout, and we needed to collect more information in order to specifically identify who was fighting us and who wasn't. And so that was the final purpose of that mission on the morning of the 4th of March. When we passed through there that morning, it was normal atmospherics. People in shops. They call it the Marco Bazaar. So people were buying different items in these stores, men, women, and children. When we passed back through that morning, the atmospherics had completely changed radically. So within 3 hours, what we saw when we were heading back west, approaching Badikat, was semblance of a parade. People formed on both sides of the road, facing the center of the road, staring at us. And as soon as my vehicle, I saw what was happening when we approached. It was a military-aged men only on the sides of the road. So I said inside our vehicle, "Watch out!" And boom, a car bomb blew up right in our front portion of our patrol. A massive firebomb. So a blast went several hundred feet in the air. We thought that there's probably a catastrophic casualty of men and equipment. That we were thinking the worst. We immediately started receiving fire from jihadists on the south side of the road, and this is again in Marco Bazaar, so we're at belt buckle distance. It's a close fight, foul language distance, and our men in the patrol, there's 30 of us. They oriented to the south, engaged the enemy with overwhelming fire superiority, and quickly defeated the enemy threat to the south side of the road. Instantaneously, we received fire from the north side of the road. Again, this is very, very close. Began to be engaged on the north side of the road. Our men in the lead echelon of the patrol oriented to the north, engaged the enemy, defeated the threat, and then we basically needed to do our assessment of what's going on, because we were supposed to get out, and all of a sudden we see this, the recap of those events: large car bomb, complex ambush on both sides of the road. We knew that there was a total of 4 known suicide bombers. We knew that before going into that town, and so we made the decision very quickly: are we going to dismount to do key leader engagement when there's 3 other people right here? There's lots of civilians around. So we decided to abort the mission. We had to assess what kind of casualties we had. We did not have perfect communication with all members of the patrol, so we used hand and arm signals that we were okay. So we were in that what we call kill zone for 5 minutes, because when we got back to base 20 minutes after the contact, this was already out on BBC. So when we returned to base, our operations center had came to us and said, "Hey, this is already, they're already hearing this on BBC." So at that time, as a commanding officer of Fox Company, I knew that this had never happened. And even our higher headquarters, the colonel's staff, the Green Beret commander in Afghanistan, nobody had ever seen any kind of events like this transpire so fast. That